So welcome to my humble little man cave. So this is my reflection pool, which I've started to make. I'll describe within detail as much as I can how far I've gone with the project at the moment in time. But I've designed it so it's 1.6 meters long by a meter wide. Anyway, so the construction is a 4x2 scant, which is the main frame, which is quite simply put together by 4 screws on each corner, 4-inch screws, and then I put the 3x2 scant at the top end of the pool where it's going to be at its deepest, with 3x2 scant on its side, which allows then 50 mil of depth of water on the face side. I've then measured 800 mil, which is halfway down the board, applied another 3x2 scant on its side, level with the bottom of the 4x2. Again, that gives me a 50 mil depth of water on the base. Now, what I've done then, I've diminished the board, so I've put the board on top of the scant on the far end. That allows me a graduation, so I can have the water not particularly stepped up as such, but I can allow me rocks and me logs to lie on the surface and then run it gently into the water. So it's got a gentle decline. So smaller birds can sort of swim around, and, you know, larger birds can come to the deeper end, if you like, of the pool. So once you've constructed your frame, then you need to consider what type of decking to use. I've used a 10 milli ply for a good reason. Is it's quite a flexible material, as opposed to OSB, which it will flex, but not as good as the plywood. As you can see, there's plenty of flexibility in there, which allows me to give it that graduated slope up to the end of the pool. So I'm using these old sawhorses to sit the base on in the garden. I'm going to make sure that they're fairly level when I put them where I want them in the garden. They're quite handy because they're quite modular. Again, they fold up, again adding portability to the whole project. So I've decided to line the reflection pool with an EDPM membrane, which is rubber. I used a water base adhesive for the main base, and then once I was happy with how it was situated, then I used a contact adhesive on the sides, so it didn't get any movement once it's stuck down firm. It's probably not the cheapest method. You could probably get a UPVC liner probably for a fraction of the price, but nonetheless, if you bought this from a roofing centre or a supplier's, you're probably only looking at about 30-40 quid. Good bit of advice though is not to go to an aquatic centre, go to a roofing supplier. You go through an aquatic centre, it's probably going to cost you 3 times as much for the same material. I've stabilised the actual legs on slate, just a few slates I've had knocking about, and got it level to the spirit level as near as I possibly could. But I've got some little packers which are used by window fitters and the likes. So once I've got the water in, I can get a better idea of the level. So if I do need to make any minor adjustments, I can just slide these under the actual base itself, under the legs, without moving the whole structure. So I'm quite fortunate. I've got this old telegraph pole, which is it's not in use anymore. So the utilities company happily left it up for me so I can put some bird feeders on it. But what I'm going to do, I found this branch, a bit of fallen branch, and I'm going to fix it to the pole. So strap it to the pole up there and put some feeder holes in for the woodpeckers, because we get a lot of spotted woodpecker. So I thought that'd be a nice feature, with it being so close to the pool as well. Allow birds to purchase before they enter the domains of the pool. So the next part of the project obviously is to add a few rocks and logs and moss to make it look a little bit more natural, and we'll get back to you then. So there you have it, reflection pool complete. I've added some logs, slate, some moss, and I've also decorated around the pool with this bark-like material to make it a little bit more natural looking. So yeah, so that's that project complete, and now it's on to the next one. So to complement the reflection pool, I thought I'd build myself a little solo hide. Previously I had one of these pop-up jobbies from Amazon, and it worked quite well, but in the wind it'll blow down, or a bit of snow gets on it and it just completely flattens it. So I thought I'd build something a little bit more substantial. This is constructed fairly similar to the reflection pool. It's 3x2 scant with OSB boards. Also added some wheels so we can cart it around the garden, or if I don't decide to dismantle it and take it to a site. Roof is fairly simple. Again, it's OSB and scant, and I've covered it with EDPM, same as the reflection pool, and covered it with a bit of this camouflage netting, again from Amazon. So each aperture I've constructed covers with little cupboard hooks, allows that to be removed. Now this stuff is a camo netting which is see-through, which is ideal, which allows you to see out and the birds or the wildlife can't see in. Obviously when not in use, it's just a case of popping the cover back on and nipping the hooks back. Now on the front I've also added a little lens cap which I didn't use, and it allows that to be protruding, so the birds get used to this when it's not in use, and then obviously when I'm ready to film or photograph, take that out and the lens pops out of there and the birds are none the wiser, hopefully. So that's it, that's me little projects complete. Many thanks for watching this video. I hope it's brought some inspiration or a few ideas. Yeah, apologies for all the stutters on the AMs. I'm not one for this vlogging business, not tried it before, so please don't be too harsh on me. I appreciate your comments, see what anybody else thinks and how they've built theirs, or any ideas that could be improved. Would be much appreciated. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to do the next step, obviously, is to get in there and do some filming and photography, and I'll stick them on the end of this video. Hope you enjoy them. Many thanks, and Pete Butler. Thanks for watching.